Hey, everybody, and welcome to another Playful Humans podcast. I'm your host, Mike Montague, and my guest this week is a mental health advocate, a CBD innovator, a restaurateur, a YouTuber, and a podcaster. His name is Brandon Croucher. Hey, Brandon, how are things?
I'm great, Mike. How are you doing, my friend?
I am wonderful now, and you can find Brandon at delightcafe.com. That's where you can find the CBD products, and also just find Brandon, and then you can get out to everything else he does. But delightcafe.com. You can find Playful Humans at playfulhumans.com. Take a playfulness quiz, join the community, and find everything fun. Here we go. Brandon, we like to start with the joke of the week. Nice dance moves as well. So if you're not watching the video version, you might want to head over to YouTube for this one. I have a feeling it'll get interesting. The joke of the week is brought to you by the pediatrics department. People that work in pediatrics have it pretty tough because they all have little patience.
Oh, wow. Wow. That was a good one, and you sold it very well, I got to admit. You and I were talking. You asked me for a joke of the week. I said 2 guys walk into a bar. The third one ducked.
Yeah. That's
classic.
That's always a good one. I pull that one out of my pocket. Do you know why melons plan big weddings?
No.
Because they cantaloupe.
Oh my gosh. Nice. That makes sense. When I think about it, I should have figured that out. That makes sense. That's funny. I love that.
All right. Good dad jokes to get started. Always a fun time. But now we get to talk about all the fun things that you're doing, Brandon. And so we mentioned a lot of stuff. Let's start with the CBD because I think it's really interesting and it ties into the mental health and other stuff. But tell us how you got here into the CBD industry.
So I appreciate that. Thank you, Mike. So what ended up happening is I owned a health food restaurant and I saw how much food fueled my body. That was the name of my restaurant, Fuel Cafe, P-H-U-E-L. The focus was getting the proper pH balance in your body for fuel.
Wow, cool.
So then as I went along in life and just doing my thing and really learning about better cooking, healthy cooking, and why the food fuels my body. One day, I come from the church. I was a youth pastor for years. And then one day it was like, well, I don't like the medicines I'm taking. I don't feel like me anymore. And I really wanted to start getting into newer, healthier, more natural ways. And somebody mentioned CBD, and I remember my mom and dad being like, oh, that's the devil's lettuce. It's cannabis and that. And I'm like, oh, wow, this is going to be fun. So I went out and I started learning about it, getting to understand it, and learning all the things that people are doing. Now, I didn't want to smoke it. So I came up with my own idea and started trying to figure out how to make it happen. I flew to California, slept in a grow facility out in California for 6 months, learning all about marijuana, CBD, the benefits, the problems in the industry. And I was looking for loopholes that nobody's touching yet. What's something that nobody is doing? And when I say CBD, most people think of oils, gummies, and lotions. And I think it's not fair that you don't get to choose what you want. So I made odorless, colorless, tasteless, full spectrum individual packets. You can carry it around with you anywhere you go. Pop it in to your water, to your soup, to put it on top of your salad, stir it up, and you made a CBD salad dressing. I tell people my slogans, it's as easy as A, B, CBD.
Nice. I love that. And I think that is cool. There is some weird things. I mean, they put CBD and THC in all kinds of different things now. And it's, it's not bad. You can eat a gummy or whatever, or take a pill or do what you gotta do to get it down. But I like what you said about taking the stigma away from this odorless, colorless thing that just looks like a sweetener packet that I can pour in my coffee or do whatever. And nobody's going to know whether you're putting Splenda or Delight into your coffee or have any judgments about that. And then you got a lot more flexibility because, sometimes you don't I know for me, like I do diets and healthy eating as well, so I might be keto one day and I don't want to take a gummy with sugar in it, or I might be doing
Correct.
something else where I want an option for that. So I
Yeah.
think
And that's the thing, is you should be allowed to choose that. If you're having your morning coffee and it's just been a long weekend, you might want to start your Monday with a little bit of calm, balance, and delight. You just pour it in, have the caffeine of the coffee there, but then the CBD helps you stay focused through the day. I like to let people say, because I was looking at all the different products and I felt that there was a very big discrepancy, because you could literally go get an olive oil to a lotion. And I know my mom is particular about what she's getting and looks at all the ingredients. And for me, I was like, all right, how can I make her happy? Well, imagine my mom opening this, putting it in her hand and putting her favorite lotion on, and then rubbing it on and making her favorite lotion a CBD lotion. She's like, oh my gosh, I can do that. Yeah, Mom. She suffers from restless leg syndrome. She's probably most likely going to pop in, as you saw, as you and I were talking beforehand. But like, it's one of these things where I wanted her, being someone who suffers from a lot of health issues and has had a lot of problems in life and has a very negative stigma of this. I wanted to break those barriers for my mom, because it made me realize there's a lot of people out there who just do the same thing as her. And I wanted to be able to be like, Mom, I love you and I want you here as long as possible. Here's a way to try this. And what's funny to me is when I give it to people and they don't tell their significant other they bought a box or something, and they start putting in their significant other stuff. And then they're like, you've been so much nicer lately. And they're like, have I? I didn't notice. I'm like, I don't recommend that. But the truth is, try it and give yourself like a week. Just every day, start your day with it. Put it in anytime the anxiety hits. I tell people that. And that way they could turn around, see the difference, and ask the people around you if you notice a difference, because you might not feel it. Like, you're not Jesus and going to walk on water because you took CBD, but you might be able to turn around and notice that your day does a little more balance and you're not as angry, and your family and friends notice.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. I mean, this is the Playful Humans podcast. You are definitely a playful human, and we're getting into some of the fun entertainment stuff that you're doing here in a second. But I wanted to ask you one more question about that, which is the mental health side of things. How does the CBD product and mental health allow you to even be a playful human, or allow you to live your best life?
I absolutely love that question. So the thing is, I actually am an individual who does suffer from mental health issues. I get depressed, just like we all do, right? I have anxiety. Apparently, I have more than your average person. But I also suffer from bipolar 2 disorder. And that means like I can get really suicidal in that. And what this helps with is, imagine your day, and every single scenario you go through is a domino, okay? And if you're choosing that coffee that spilled this morning messes up your day, that might lead to all of a sudden the dog bites the mailman, which leads to, they're all things that just keep making your day worse. With the CBD, if you have a mental health issue, I'm not saying it's going to fix it. I want to make sure I'm specifying that, but it helps you find your balance. So all of a sudden that coffee spills, it's like, well, damn it. And then you put it in the next one and you drink, you go back to your desk or your office, and you're able to reset yourself. You feel the stuff roll off your back like a duck. It's, for me, it was stopping the domino effect of the falls and putting like my finger on the domino where I want it to stop, and letting it be able to keep making the beautiful picture it is without going around and making it worse, you know?
That's cool. So let's talk about the YouTube channel and the podcast now, because that's how we met. I came on one of your shows. And so the YouTube show is a whole bunch of fun. You guys really just try to spread a positive message. And I think it's amazing. Very similar to this, just helping inspire people to have a better day and start those dominoes in the right direction with some, positive thoughts and conversations, and interviewing interesting people there as well. How did you even get into that, and what made you decide to do a show?
So I actually do a show on Wednesday evenings called The H. It's an honest conversation about health, hemp, and happiness to break down all those stereotypes. And one of the guests goes, would you be willing to jump on my morning show? Kind of like you and I. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I'd be more than happy to do that. So him and I start the show. He's been doing this for months and all this. And I guess my personality shined through. And I had like the playful side of me, and he asked me to come back, and then it led to more. And I kept coming back because I realized when I start my day with that, and I really am able to put my best effort out there for everybody to get that morning going, it really does play a big impact on, like, from what people are hearing from the good out of my heart and able to start their day right. It pushes them in the right direction. It resets them. And I'm like, if this is what I'm going to have to do, I want to help people do what helps me, and I know people will connect, and that's what I've been doing. It's Java Delight. We are on our own network, Delight Cafe, Delight's Digital Cafe. Sorry, I always Delight Cafe CBD and Delight Digital Cafe. That's how they connect, the Delight. What our focus is where you can go to find what your best things are for you. There's so many options out there, from meditation, exercise, diet. I mean, like you mentioned, you might go keto, but then there's people that are like my sisters who are gluten, vegan, and sugar free, that they don't understand why they still don't love themselves the way they think they should. And for me, that maybe you need to add one thing like meditation. Maybe you need to add something like prayer. Maybe you need to just sit outside in the sun and read with no electronics for a few minutes. So for me, it's helping everybody find their best them while truly seeing that I'm human and I want to just love on people to help them love others. I think we've lost touch with that in the world. And I remember the guy years ago, the free hug guy. I always wanted to hug him. And people made fun of me. And I'm like, I'm going to hug him one day. Truth is, I really think that we've lost that. And I think a lot of people need to understand that we might not be able to physically hug with a pandemic, but we can turn around, whether you believe it or not. I don't want to go into that one. But like, because of it and following regulations, give a verbal hug. Give an emotional hug. Send that one little letter to somebody that says, hey, I just want you to know in 8th grade, you were the funniest guy and you helped me get through school. And like that, like, changes somebody's week sometimes. Holding a door for someone is opening up, like, without wanting a thank you, opens up you to being the best human you can be. And you never know what that's going to end up turning into. And I live my life trying to be that way.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. And you've already hit on a few things here about Playful Humans that we talk about a lot. I think for me, what I heard there is a lot of people use CBD or other things to avoid the bottoms, the troughs of life, right? But I think if we don't also focus on those peak experiences, then we're losing something. We end up just flattening out and being kind of numb. And sure, we can watch 8 hours of Netflix in a day and kill the day without being in too much pain for a while, but those things are going to catch up with you if you're not also having peak experiences, exercising, getting out, having sunshine, connecting with another human being. Those are also the parts that I think you're exactly right. Our culture is not focused on. We're focused on watching other people have peak experiences and fake reality shows, or focused on eliminating the risks and things that might upset people or things that might upset us. But we don't worry about, getting out there and making some noise, making a ruckus, enjoying life, making an impact. I just don't hear enough people talking about that.
And the thing is, all right, so one of my big things because of being mental health is when you wash a car, I don't care what kind of guy you are or girl you are, when you wash a car, you don't just start at the rims. And so many of us are starting at the bottom thinking we need to work our way up. Truth is, you start at the top because it washes everything down. So if you start with your mental health, you're going to notice your diet change, your heart feels better. You're going to notice all your chakras will start to align. And for me, that was what I really wanted for people to have, is you can't love another individual. You cannot go out in this world and be searching for love if you don't love yourself. And if I'm going to preach that, I better love myself. And that's not cocky. It's understanding that I have a different type of way, and so do you, and so does everybody else. And who gives a shit about that guy across the street that doesn't like you or whatever? You need to be taking care of you. So from like today, it's beautiful outside. I look so forward to when you and I are done. I have a team meeting and then I have a jog scheduled for me. And I'm looking so forward to it because it's a sunny day and I'm in Cleveland, Ohio. We don't get a lot of these. This is one of those things where it's taking the negatives of your life and being able to turn it and seeing what you should be grateful for. It's not letting you hit, like you said, that bottom. Because the thing I've noticed is when you hit that bottom, it's a lot easier to stay there. It's very comfortable. They have like a king size bed with like down comforters and memory foam pillows. It is the most comfortable thing when you get like low, but you don't realize you're that comfortable. To get out of it is finding those grateful things. Every time I have something negative happen, it's so hard to do, trust me. But I've noticed how much of a difference it makes in my life. That gratefulness of like, oh, that guy cut me off and I had to like swerve off the side of the road. Well, I'm safe. I'm grateful he didn't kill me. And now I'm 5 minutes late for whatever. But at the end of the day, I'm alive and I'm safe. Move along. You know what I mean? That's the thing that I like to do and show people, like, find the little things to be grateful for and truly push for it.
Now, I have a tough question for you here, and I know you don't, you're not giving official like doctor advice, and you don't have a PhD in this or anything, but how much do you feel like, because you've done the chemical side of things too with pH and CBD, I think both are really interesting and helpful for me personally, but I'm wondering, if people are having a bad day, how much would you say is mental and how much of it is actually chemical imbalances that we can fix? And do you start on one or the other or both at the same time, all of the above? Like, how have you found it in your personal life?
So personally, all right, this is me just going to be brutally open and raw. I had a point where, because of my mental health issues, I was going through a divorce and a depression. I was on 15 pills a day. And when I started doing research on this, the FDA doesn't give approval on things after 3 pills. So that means if you have a 4th pill you're on, they have no way of knowing what your body's going to do, no matter what they're telling you. And the FDA can't, there's no specialties on that. Like, so for me, 15 pills a day, I'm sitting there looking at it going, no wonder I'm sleeping all the time. No wonder I'm feeling this. Now, I do want to make sure I say, if you need medicine, you need medicine. Please don't think I'm telling you not to, and CBD is going to cure you. No, you need to be able to know what you need and trust your doctors. But you also have to have a doctor you trust. And I had to go find a new therapist that understood where I was coming from on this. That 15 pills a day doesn't make me feel like me. And when I'm 265 pounds and barely able to work an 8-hour day, and I'm only 28 years old, that's not right. And now I'm 38. I'm 190 pounds. I've kept it like this for years. It starts, like I said earlier with the car wash, it starts here at the head. But the thing is, we don't realize that that is a big thing that a lot of us have blocked off for years. We don't like reading. We don't like books. We don't like, I could name the symphony, you know? But the thing is, when you truly break down eating correctly, from McDonald's to eating that veggie burger that you didn't think was going to taste good and ends up tasting good, you know, when you start actually knowing what you're putting in your body and you really take the time to see that and put it right, all of a sudden the other decisions become better. The biggest thing I tell people, no matter what, and this is the pastor in me, so just warning you, it comes in scripture and it comes in the Quran and many different things, that your tongue is such a powerful weapon. Your tongue can spark a forest fire. And for me, that forest fire, that light that we have, that's where it all starts. You need to start right there with the words you choose, because that helps with your diet. That helps with your mentality. That helps you physically. That's going to be the thing that says, okay, I'm going to wake up 6 a.m. every day and go work out. Whoa, 6 a.m.'s early. Okay, I'm going to do this. You keep telling yourself this. You set the alarm, and then maybe the first day you hit snooze, but you keep telling yourself that you will get through it. Use your tongue to inspire yourself. Create that forest fire deep down inside. Let it burn, because if your fire burns and your light's burning that much, no matter what religion you believe in, your actions will be so much louder than your words that people are going to want to be able to be like you.
I love that. So that naturally leads to the follow-up question is, what lights that fire for you? How do you play? What gets you jazzed up, geeked up, excited about your life?
So honestly, it's the days like this, I get to talk to other people that are doing things and know that I'm spreading a positive vibe, positive word. It's getting a text message or email or something that, like my morning show, all of a sudden getting a message saying, hey, I just want you to know you look off today and I cannot be more grateful for who you are. So thank you. And it's like, it makes me want to cry because I don't realize how much I'm helping people by just being like, hey, how you doing? Ah! And it really makes a difference. It's getting a message from friends, and I shouldn't say friends, but like I call them friends now, clients. And they literally said how they thought they were going to have to divorce their husband or wife. They wanted to figure something new out. They started with something as simple as CBD, followed the page, and then turned around and like started noticing like, oh, my tongue really does control what I think. How do I change this? And they start doing this, seeing people come out of horrible situations and say thank you. And I didn't do anything. I literally just used what I did for me and said, here's how you can do this to love yourself. Okay. And it's working. And I'm loving seeing every message I get saying, hey, thank you for being you. I'm following you. It's one of these things where you spend your whole life trying to make everybody else happy. And I'm a great entertainer. I spin fire. I do a whole bunch of things. Okay. I swear to God. Yeah. I spin fire like professionally too.
Well, why are we doing that in Mom's house this afternoon? I mean,
do you want me to send you one of my videos?
I would love to see it. Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
So
it's a dragon staff.
To find out. I know you have some really cool things, and we didn't leave enough time for this. We should have led with this and ended with this. But we flipped it up today. We'll end with the bang. So tell me about that. I know you mentioned running, you mentioned fire spinning, you got the podcasts and shows you do. What else? I mean, you do some fun stuff. What are the hobbies and fun stuff?
So I love going to events, but I don't like being at them unless I'm hosting them, as weird as that sounds. I don't want to be the main speaker, and if I am, I don't want to be running the event. So for me, it's one of these things where I love to play, and I would go out to concerts, and I'd go to things, and I'd want to find my way in for free. Like, I'm not even kidding. I just wanted to be there and not pay. And so a friend handed me poi. Do you know what poi is? The ball of fire at the end of a rope and you spin it.
Sure. Yeah.
So he handed me that and goes, here, try it. And they were on fire and I've never seen them before. And I start just playing around. He goes, I bet you're a dragon staff guy. And the dragon staff is as tall as me, has 4 balls of fire on either end, and you spin it without using your hands. And I picked it up at one of the shows we were at, and I just naturally got it. And it's a workout / meditation for me. So like I can go for like a 3-mile run, come back to my parents' house right now and stand out in their backyard, and I'll spin for an hour. That is just me in my own zone. And my mom even, like, she'll sit inside and watch me. My dad will like write me text messages trying to like distract me. But I'm in such a zone that it turns into me, I'm dancing in most people's eyes. But for me, I'm actually saying to like myself, like, this is for you. Feel good about you. What are you loving about that? So for me, it's always about being different and finding that spark in me and keeping it going. Because like I said, our tongue is one thing, but I want to create a forest fire that changes the world, because I believe we're meant to be inspiring. I believe we're meant to light that fire inside us all and truly be finding that passion. And that comes from loving ourselves first. So whether you're going to spin fire or you're going to create a CBD company, it's find what's going to be your niche and go love yourself. That's all I try to do.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you really, I think, put some really beautiful words to play about what that is. And no matter whether you're spinning fire or juggling or running or playing board games with your family or solving a puzzle, like all of those things are ways to play and just connect with you and do it for you. You might want to fix the forest fire metaphor if you are playing with actual fire. But other than that, I mean, I loved it. It was great.
Don't set I'm biblically speaking, it says you can light the forest on fire. I'm sorry. No, don't set the forest on fire. All right. If you live in California and you're watching this, do me a favor. I'm not serious about setting anything on fire. Yeah. Because you have enough issues.
Hobby. Don't do the Dragon's Bowl if you're in California.
Don't spin dragon staff. I love it.
Staff. Yeah. There you go.
That's funny. That's good. But yeah, you're right.
You wanna play a game?
I would love to play a game. I like games.
All right, we're going to spin our wheel of games. There are 10 games on here that it could land on. We found that you got Family Feud, a little feud question. So I have survey questions here. These are all movie themed, so hopefully you know your movies. We're looking for one of the top 5 answers that were on the survey of 100 people, right?
All right.
So name a movie / franchise that is set in the future.
In the future? Oh my gosh, the first movie that came to my head is not right at all because it's Back to the Future. So that's not right. I'm going to go with that right away. Like, not right. Is that right? Wait, you're saying,
no, that's the number one answer. Number 2 in Back to the Future 2, they go to the future.
That's what I was going to say, but the second one they go. So that would be one. And the other one, if I'm going to do the top 2, I don't know. What's a movie that time travels? That's the only one I can think of. Give me another one.
Well, Star Trek is set in the future. So number 2 answer is Star Trek. So I guess technically Back to the Future would not be right anymore because the future in Back to the Future is now the past. That was 2015. So
actually, do you want to know something funny?
Future anymore. Yeah.
You want to know something funny? It was 2016, and the only reason I know that is because the Chicago Cubs were picked to win the World Series in the movie. And then they beat my Cleveland Indians in 2016 to get all of that. And it was like, I will never forget that because it was like, oh, wow, that really was like a prophecy by Back to the Future. That's funny.
It's crazy how those things, and I think it's the tongue and the visualization stuff that you were talking about earlier. It's amazing how powerful they are. And the number 3 answer on the card here is Star Wars. But as we all know, Star Wars was set a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. So that is also a wrong answer. All right, let's try one more. I am going to go with name a movie that features a sword fight.
A sword fight. Zorro.
Zorro is not in our top 6 answers. It should be, though. You've named,
and I said 3 Musketeers.
Yeah. Also not on there. How about
Braveheart?
My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Scarface. I was the accent. All I could picture was Scarface with that. What is that?
That was the Princess Bride. You don't know the Princess Bride?
And my fiance is going to watch this. And, oh my God, she would tell me the same thing.
It's a must see, especially for somebody in our age range. Yeah. Okay. Star Wars also on the list at number 4 here. Technically not swords either, lightsabers. But Robin Hood, the number 1 answer. Robin Hood, good movie there. Princess Bride was number 2. King Arthur, number 3. Pirates of the Caribbean, good one. And Braveheart, good sword movie.
I got Braveheart, so I got number 5.
Yeah. All right, awesome. Well, thanks for playing, Brandon. I appreciate it. Any final asks, gives, comments for our audience?
You know what? I actually had such a good time. If you let me know when this is going to go up, I'm going to do a promo code for $21 off for anybody that wants to make themselves number 1 on a box of CBD. So 2021 is you're making yourself number 1. All right. And I'll use the Playful Humans as the complete promo code, $21 off for everybody. That way they have an enticement to come to the website, but it's also a way for you and I to help connect these people, connect each other. And I like what you're doing. I love what you're doing. So I'd love to make that for you guys.
Well, thanks, man. I appreciate that. So use code Playful Humans at delightcafe.com. That's Brandon Croucher. He has all kinds of good stuff going on too. So find him there at that website, delightcafe.com, and then connect with him and find out about the shows on YouTube and all the other cool stuff he has going on. If you'd like more information on Playful Humans, go to playfulhumans.com. You can take a quiz, find out what your playful personality is, and join a community of other adults rediscovering the power of play. It's at playfulhumans.com. Go play.
Going for tomorrow. Live for today. Keep on chasing the sunshine and go out and play.
Get out there and go play.